Hey everyone, this is Steph, the Educator, and I'm welcoming you today for another episode of Essential Pedagogy, where my hope is, as a result of you listening to this podcast, people within education and outside of education growing compassion for one another by getting an inside view of our American education system. But today is kind of a different episode. I had a guest that was booked today, and it just didn't work out. Sometimes that happens, and it is a lot of hustle and bustle around. Everybody is finally able to get out in the world and celebrate the way they had hoped or wanted to. And so I guess we are just doing it up. We are just doing it up. 2020, 2021, 2022 had challenges, with, COVID. Our a whole world was turned upside down with something that we felt like may have been kind of close to like a movie. We've seen movies of like mass disaster and destruction and tragedy. And as I look back on the year, um, since it is 2023, I'm so excited for this year. You might wonder why. Um, and I am not going to be ashamed or hold back about my age. I'm going to have a birthday, a major birthday, on Monday, January 9th. I am going to be 50. And it's not going to be a big secret because you're going to know how old my children are. And unless I had them when I was 15 or 10, then you're going to know that I'm a little bit older than 35. So I will turn 50 January 9th, and it is a big year. I've been really anticipating this birthday for a while, thinking about it, thinking I was ready for it. Was not. Was not. Um, I was excited as long as I was 49. Like, I was excited. Now that it's getting closer, I'm like, well, you know what? That's when people start thinking other folks are old. Thank you so much. Thank you. I had in my head about what I was going to do, whoop de whoop de whoop, what I was going to, how I was going to celebrate, what my invitation was going to say. And maybe I'll still do that invitation or some type of um, form of that invitation later. But it just got all scrapped. And I guess it leads me to, you just can't prepare for what life is going to throw at you. And since you can't prepare for what life is going to throw at you, you might as well just relax and roll with the punches. I did not expect for my guests to cancel at the last minute. I did not expect feeling a little blue and lonely as my birthday came closer and closer. But, I started feeling that way. I started feeling like, my goodness, you know, what is the next years? I don't know if it's going to be 50, but the next coming years, what am I going to offer in that time? How am I going to put my best foot forward? Um, I had a wonderful breakfast with my godson and his son and wife. Yes, I taught this little boy back in the day. He's not a little boy anymore. He's a grown man with a family of his own. Uh, I had the opportunity to really see that I made an impact on other people and a lasting impact that made me like cry. Just, I didn't even feel like what I was doing was that impactful. I just wanted to help people, like I'm doing with this podcast. I just want to help people. It's not for money, it's not for show. It's just to help people come together and have more understanding of one another. Ah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about that too. But it really that visit with my former student and godson, I call him my godson. Um, it just made he was like, "Oh, I'm in college now, and full time," because he was going part time for many years. He's not just a recent graduate, but he's been going part time and working for many years. In this education system, by law, we have to accommodate children that are brought to this country without their consent. And I know that's kind of weird to say children got have to give consent, but yeah, um, when children come as I guess refugees or um, coming along with their parents that come illegally over our borders, there there are laws to protect children that had no say in whether they came to this country or not, for us to give them education. At the same time, when they grow up with this beautiful, rich education, there's really no outlet for them to really walk out their education and further their education unless they do it with their own money and fortitude. No scholarships, no grants, because the government does not recognize you if you don't have a social security number. So these children, who are in a lot of cases brilliant children, they kind of get left out, and it breaks my heart. But at the same time, just like my godson, I call him my godson. He's not my blood. We're not even the same nationality or race. But at the same time, he was one of the only students that I know was willing to take two math class and forego a um, elective course in order to get in a program that to help him get into college. Um, don't have a visa. When you come in on the back of a truck, I'm addressing a, um, a audience member, but don't have a visa when you come in from the back of a truck or by other means. There's just no visa, and scared that you're going to be deported. They're going to catch you. Um, it's very tough, but there are avenues if you have a child here. So don't want to get into all that, but uh, these children need to have an opportunity to be a viable part of our society, and not pushed aside and not given an opportunity to try to expand on the education that they've been given as a young child, as an adult, to be a productive citizen is I feel like it's a misstep in our country. But I don't know all the answers to the problems and, you know, the rungs on the ladders along the way to solve these problems. I'm just a teacher who care about all people and want to see a better world. Fortunately, he is diligent and he's doing what he can to and has a plan to take care of his family and to do everything he needs to do to get that done. And I'm very, very proud of him. On a different note, we're talking about generations. Oh, that's so sweet. We're talking about generations and the difference in how people celebrate their birthdays and things like that. Let me just tell you, the stress in it all. Like, I feel like social media is just really like, whew, oh my gosh. And you don't know that it's in your subconscious because yes, I'm a part of social media, but I don't um, make that my life. I don't feel like I have an addiction to social media. I definitely know some people who can't go a couple of hours without posting, let alone days. So I am not addicted to social media by any means, but baby, that social media make you be like, what am I doing? What am I going to do with my life? And how am I going to show about how my best life is, right? You know, celebrating my 50, I had a lot of visions. When I started making phone calls to try to make those visions come true, that was a different that was a different thing. And I don't know how a lot of people are paying for things, but when people say minimum of 5,700, minimum of 5,200 to book a space. And that does not include adult beverages. It does include appetizers and a space for you to hire a DJ to play your music of choice. It also provides a space for you to take lovely pictures, but of course, you have to book a viable photographer. And before you know it, something like that can cost about $10,000. And you say, "Oh, I want to do it up for my birthday. We've been hemmed up in the house all this time, but let me just tell you, not doing that. I mm, I could charge it, but I don't see paying finance charges and paying a credit card for the next 4 or 5 years and for a party. And I know it's going to be memorable. I know it is because it's going to be the people I love because I'm spending good money on it. This is my fantasy, okay? But mm-mm. I can go get some Market Street cupcakes or some nut bunt cake. I'm okay with that. Um, I did have a vision though of some fabulous stuff going on, but it didn't happen that way. I know it's the big 50 and people do lots of big things. I am going to go on a photo shoot though, because I do want to remember myself the way I look right now. I think I look real good for 50. And I think I offer the world lots of joy, happiness, and things that make people enjoy their life better, I hope. Today I had a conversation with a stellar teacher. Stella. I'm telling you, I was like, I need to take notes. You got to be at least 15 years younger than me, but can I learn from you? And so we keep in touch by text, and I ran to her room because she said she had some extra chairs. And I was like, okay, let me see what these chairs look like. And I ended up talking to her and just standing at her desk, and I saw a sign out sheet for the bathroom. And I was like, girl, you still use those? Like, let me just tell you. Um, so she was like, yeah, because it's just too many, and I got to make sure I manage that. And I was like, we manage a whole lot in education. I don't want to do a whole lot of thinking and planning and running copies of a bathroom sign out sheet for a kid to go to the restroom. I don't want to manage that. I don't want to. She made a cute little logo of a toilet and everything on this little sign. She is dynamic. She makes everything pretty and beautiful. That is not my gift. My gift is to sniff out shenanigans of little children. And so I do it well. I figured it out today. I sniff out shenanigans from kids and I figure out a way to outsmart them. That's what I do. That's my superpower and that's my gift. Let me just tell you. So she had this sign in sheet and sign out sheet, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a lot of work." I mean, you do a great, great job. She's actually teacher of the second 9 weeks. Her name's Jessica Steele. I think I need to have her on podcast. Anyway, but I just told her, I said, I don't do this, and you are gifted, and I know that you can keep up with this. But let me just tell you how I handle bathroom passes. When they ask to go to the restroom, I ask to see their work. Those who do their work usually are not going to lie about using the bathroom. Those who don't do their work is trying to get out of their work. And when they come to me and they say, I need to go to the restroom, I need to see your work. Let me see how far you've gotten. And they said, okay. They bring up the work and it's inadequate. I said, I'm so glad you came up for this opportunity for me to help you get this done. Where can I help you? Because it seems like you're confused. And there you go. The shenanigans is knocked out. They don't go to the restroom, at least not during my class, because I feel like it's very important. And they get their work done. Clever. Now, I don't always have the prettiest PowerPoints. I don't always have the prettiest bulletin boards and all that. Like, I usually have the kids put their work up and I'll be like, look, see, if you do good work, it looks great. If you don't, it won't look good. And you get to look at it every day. So, but I will figure out a way to make sure that they get what they need in my classroom. I will figure out a way that when they try to weasel their way out of doing their work, that I get them to try to get something done. And I also thought about how over the years I've become a little bit more lenient. I've experienced genius children who just won't do not anything you look double negative. Uh, anything you ask them to do. I mean, anything, and they're genius. They can pass any standardized test. They can write an essay, but they won't do their work. And it used to be a time where children could fail because of this fact or this phenomenon. But I have come to the conclusion that some kids just get what they need from being in the environment of hearing and participating in activities, but not necessarily writing everything down. And if they can get what they can get by just being in the environment and soaking it up, however they can, not doing any homework, and if they haven't turned in anything, then I will not be a person to fail a kid because of them not failing anything. I mean, not doing their homework, not doing their their classwork. But if you can master a test that I know that you did not cheat on, hey, by all means, if you learned it from the song that I taught you, great. I teach seventh grade and sixth grade and eighth grade science. So whatever they need, whatever year is what I teach. And this year I teach sixth grade and seventh grade science. Last year I taught eighth grade science, which is a tested area in the state of Texas. And I enjoy eighth graders best because they're older and you can be sarcastic and they won't cry. Now the sixth graders you have to worry about, like, did I hurt your feelings? Because I told you to sit down and leave me alone. Sometimes you have to tell a kid to leave you alone. But it's okay. I'm sure their parents, some parents don't, but I'm sure some people will tell them to leave them alone at some point in their life and they won't be broken. We can't treat everybody like they're a cracker. Um, but yes, I teach sixth grade and seventh grade science. And so since I teach science, I think I've adopted over time. Um, oh, Oh yeah, I don't think I could do that. So over time I have learned that and I've become more of a, you know, statistics, numbers, um, get my job done with compassion more than the frilliness of what teaching, what people think teaching is, or what people see teaching in the snippet of time that they see a classroom or teachers, what you've traditionally have witnessed. I just I think it's more to teaching than to have cute stuff on the wall. Although, I don't have a messy, nasty room. That's not it. Um, I did think about having my kids on past students, not current students. We have to be careful about putting people out there. Um, I can do certain things with parent permission. I even thought about throwing a parent party. Yeah, that's nice. I could call it parent party and make up a nice little flyer. Have Jessica Steele make some pretty pictures of and when she comes on the show, you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, that's Jessica Steele." Anyway, just make up a parent party, talk to them, and see if they'd be willing to let their students, because you have to have parent permission to video pictures, things like that, of students that are underage. That consent thing is, we gotta follow the law. So it would be interesting, and that would be something that maybe I could work on. But I would definitely have to have parent consent, and I don't know what the district policy is on that, but it'll be worth finding out. I do have students that love Miss Powell, but I also have students that can't stand Miss Powell because the person I am is the person I am. I'm just a touchy feely person, and I just love people. I love bringing the best out of people. I love laughter. I love making connections with people. And that's what I'm about. And I know that no matter what life brings my way, that is what my next 30, 40, maybe even 50 years will bring other people, because that's my spirit. And if nothing else, the last couple of weeks have taught me that my spirit that God has given me is a good spirit, because He dwells in me. And nobody can take that away from me. And I can't run away from it as much as I try, or as much as I try to. I think that, I'm not that great. God makes me great. And the more that I convince myself of that every day, the more I can look forward to what the next years will bring to me. So until next time, I'll be working diligently to bring somebody very interesting to interview on the next podcast for Essential Pedagogy. I don't have anything else to say. I feel like you know what? I think one podcast, if I don't have a guest next podcast, I'm going to share with you guys my child's story, me growing up. And I think that would be interesting to you. I don't feel like I'm an interesting adult, but I had an interesting childhood. I tell you that. So I was born to an immigrant mother and a father from the States. And so what happened after that is very, very interesting. And so I'm going to share that with you if I don't have a guest next time, so that you guys can get to know me a little bit and why I'm driven to do the things that I do for people. So until next time, this is Steph, the Educator, on Essential Pedagogy. And I'll see you guys next time. 1 year older.